Today we are reading 10 Lords Commission Criminal Directory, a list of severe offenders from the 10 Lords Commission, documenting several criminals who have committed the 10 unpardonable sins. Those who have committed the 10 unpardonable sins shall face the punishment of death. However, certain prisoners, either due to their indestructible nature or special status, will be consigned to the depths of the Shackling Prison for eternal imprisonment. Here is a list of such special prisoners. Prisoner Jige, Prototype. Summary of crimes. Initiated the Arumatan Rebellion during the Three Sufferings era. This individual instigated the rebellion of the Arumatans, resulting in heavy casualties for the Alliance. Detention method. Its core must be permanently preserved in a jar made of celeste gold alloys. The walls of the jar must be no thinner than several inches, and the jar must be filled with an inert liquid medium. No ingenious devices are permitted in the cell. Any violators will be charged with the crime of prison break. Remarks. This Arumatan is an important weapon designed by the primeval Imperium for warfare. Its metal limbs are significantly larger than those of contemporary Arumatans and must be disassembled and stored separately. They must not be utilized for any purpose other than warfare. Prisoner Flint Emperor. Summary of crimes. Instigated the Heliobi Wars of Possession. Detention method. This prisoner must be confined in an invisible cell to immobilize it. Special ingenia must then be placed in the prison to continuously deplete its energy. Remarks. Anyone in contact with it must wear a talisman or reside in an isolated room to avoid its influence on the mind. General Hua Yin has unrestricted access to visit this prisoner. Prisoner Ming Zhao. Summary of crimes. One of the Sky Defender commanders of the Wing Weavers, the denizen of abundance race, accountable for numerous acts of invasions and associated war crimes. Detention method. This prisoner must be confined alone in a cell with restraints attached to their wings. As the prisoner exhibits a cooperative attitude most of the time, their reasonable demands may be met to maintain their calmness. Remarks. Do not mention Jing Liu when conversing with this prisoner. Prisoner Zhao Fu. Summary of crimes. The rider of the Hoi Hinmen, the denizen of abundance race, accountable for numerous acts of invasion and associated war crimes. Detention method. This prisoner's cell must be devoid of any light, and gravitational horseshoes must be placed on their hooves to restrict their movements. As the prisoner exhibits a cooperative attitude most of the time, their reasonable demands may be met to maintain their calmness. Remarks. Do not mention Tong Zhao when conversing with this prisoner. Prisoner Hulei. Summary of crimes. The Borisin Warhead, the denizen of abundance race, accountable for numerous acts of invasion and associated war crimes, accountable for long-term enslavement of Foxians and utilizing their blood for alchemical purposes. Detention method. This prisoner must be subjected to the punishment of the Forest of Swords and never be pardoned. They must be transferred to different locations on a regular basis. Their shackles must be checked for sturdiness during the transfer, and the air filters in their new cell must be intact and functional. Remarks. Number 1. The confinement of this prisoner is the foundation of the alliance between the Shenzhou and the Foxians. Any individuals objecting to this sentence must be punished for sowing discord. Number 2. Anyone who contacts or converses with this prisoner must take poison-proof pellets or wear a breathing mask equipped with a filtered cartridge to counteract the effects of the lupit toxin. Number 3. The prisoner's place of detention must be changed on a yearly basis, and the new location must remain unknown to individuals below the rank of Cloud Knight Lieutenant or Judge. Number 4. Do not mention Jing Liu when conversing with this prisoner. Prisoner Mirage. Summary of crimes. This prisoner evoked mental anguish with its pheromone, named Smoke of Six Salayatana, to force tens of thousands of Shenzhou residents into Mara. Detention method. This prisoner must be continuously confined within the straitjacket designed by Ying Jing, ensuring they are perpetually trapped in a hallucination created by itself. The confinement device must be maintained on a yearly basis, and the air filters in their cell must be intact and functional. Remarks. This prisoner is a Baviru, modified by the denizens of abundance. formerly known as Ita Amboromo. While the cell is theoretically safe, a minimum of 20 Cloud Knights must be present to protect the craftsman during maintenance. Prisoner, Blind Chieftain. Summary of crimes: a prominent merchant of the Baladians, apprehended by the Alliance for attempting to obtain the secret of immortality through trade. Detention method: this prisoner must be confined in a completely soundproof, vacuum-sealed, floating prison. As per the deal between the Seat of Divine Foresight and the prisoner must assist the Tin Lords Commission at any time in verifying the truth of suspects' confessions. In return, they are granted 7 days of freedom each year. As the prisoner exhibits a cooperative attitude most of the time, their reasonable demands may be met to maintain their calmness. Remarks: the Baladians, the race to which this prisoner belongs, have limited visual capabilities and rely primarily on their acute sense of hearing for perception and communication. This individual in particular possesses exceptional auditory acuity, enabling them to detect even the subtlest change in sound. When conversing with this prisoner, a voice synthesizer is mandatory. Additionally, do not mention Jing Yuan when conversing with this prisoner. Prisoner, Void Existence. Summary of crimes: this prisoner has murdered 3,120 Shinzhou residents and consumed their victims' blood, successfully gaining immortality. Detention method: the prisoner must be subjected to continuous exposure to intense light to force them into a state of dormancy. Remarks: this prisoner belongs to a short-life species from Nada, a pitch-black astronomical object. The species' natural aversion to light ensures safe long-term custody. Prisoner, Shuhu. Summary of crimes: this prisoner is accountable for numerous acts of invasion and associated war crimes. Detention method. Remarks: at present, we are unsure if he is the one sealed in the box or not. We will keep the box in the lowest level of the prison for now. It must not be opened unless authorized by the Marshal and the Tin Lords together. Prisoner, Dream Eater. Summary of crimes: this prisoner is involved in multiple serious cases related to stealing memories in various worlds and the attempted theft of the Arbiter General's memory. Detention method: this prisoner must be confined within the sublime Heavenly Tome and other specially designed scrolls. These scrolls must be securely placed within a sealed box and never be opened. Remarks: this prisoner is a fugitive memo snatcher, escaping from the Garden of Recollection. Do not transfer it back to the garden for now. Since it lacks a physical form, it poses no harm to the guards. Any peculiar occurrences near the box must be disregarded. Prisoner, Primus Immortus. Summary of crimes: production of the elixir of immortality. Detention method: this prisoner must be eternally confined in an 8 feet square cell constructed from celeste gold, with walls no thinner than 7 inches. The cell must possess the following features: high temperature sterilization, an air filtration system, and the ability to administer calming gas. Remarks: this prisoner is the first individual to attain immortality on the Shinzhou. Do not enter their cell. Do not converse with them. Daily observation using Ingenia must be conducted, and any changes to the prisoner's physiological condition must be recorded. The growth of limbs, wings, bone spikes, or other bodily structures on the prisoner's body is considered normal and does not require reporting. However, if the prisoner shows any signs of awakening, it must be immediately reported to the Marshal. The last prisoner is crossed out. Prisoner, Imbibitor Lunae. Summary of crimes. Detention method. Remarks: